Hi, my name's Andrew Fee. I am currently a junior at the University of Mount Union. I am currently studying management with minors in biology, Chinese, and psychology. And I'm currently affiliated with the Greek organization Sigma Alpha Epsilon here on campus. I started playing football in 8th grade. I was kind of old when I first started playing. I previously lived in China for 5.5 years. So while I was there, I grew up playing soccer. And when I came to the US, my dad was like, "You gotta try a sport that I played." I was like, "All right, cool." So I went and tried football. We went to the field, and the coach introduced me to the team, and he said before you could partake in football, there was like a 3-day no contact rule. So I couldn't tackle, couldn't be tackled, and things like that. So during those 3 days, of course, I wore my pads and everything. He said, "Have you ever kicked a football before?" No, I was, yeah, no. A soccer ball, yeah, but football, no. And he goes, "Well, why don't you go kick a football?" I was like, "Okay." So I went and kicked the football, and I booted it down the field. And my coach came asking me, like, "Oh my goodness, we found ourselves a kicker!" And from there, I guess that's where my football career took off as a kicker. I've suffered from one concussion playing football. It was in high school. It was my sophomore year of high school, and being a kicker, you really don't do much. You sit on the sidelines and you stretch, and then you whine and stretch a little bit more, and kick footballs, of course. But there was one day my coach was like, "Hey, we need bodies," and of course, kickers aren't doing anything, so kickers, come on over. So we're sitting there, and we're acting as bodies, practice dummies, really. And I wasn't told exactly what the play was. I was just told to stand here on defense and try to tackle the guy. And I was like, okay. So what happened was the play the offense was doing was the guard was pulling. And basically we were going 110%, and the guard pulled. Didn't see him coming. He blindsided me, and he knocked me on my butt. And it was a head-to-head contact. It wasn't pretty. He put me on my butt, and I sat up. The whole team was laughing, of course, but I was sitting there looking at stars. A little dizzy. I didn't pass out or anything, but I wasn't all there per se. Well, they took me off the field. They gave me a bunch of water. They wanted to make sure I wasn't dehydrated. I don't know why. It was a hot day, so I guess fluids was important first of all. But they were also trying to make sure I had my memory. Did I remember getting hit? Did I remember falling and getting knocked on my butt? Yeah, I did remember. Were you experiencing any dizziness, a little fatigue? I told him, yeah, I wasn't really all there. I was still, I didn't have any ringing in my ears, but I was just kind of, foggy per se. So they took me in, they gave me a test. I had to remember things, and then I had to repeat them back over a certain amount of time. It's kind of nice. They even dimmed the lights and everything for me. And then they called my parents, tell them what happened. And after they called my parents, they informed my parents that I wasn't allowed to go to sleep for a certain amount of time. I had to stay up for certain hours, and if I started to doze off, they had to keep me up just to make sure. And then the next day, they took me into the hospital just to get me a thorough checkup. And they said that I had a mild, nothing major, just very mild concussion. And that's basically it. Fluids, lots of fluids. I really wasn't at school. I couldn't pay attention much, so I was sitting at home in the dark. And I guess the biggest thing was time. There really wasn't much they did for me or told me to do. But I guess they said to try and keep my brain active. Just simple things not to do. Make sure you don't do this. Certain meds they told me not to take. They wanted to make sure I was well hydrated. I wasn't allowed to be playing football. I wasn't allowed to be in any contact sports. I had to be careful, smacking my head on anything really. But yeah, so it was just kind of like safety precautions, things not to re-injure yourself. Like I said, it was a mild concussion, so it really didn't affect, I guess there were no after effects. I'm okay now, I think. I think I'm okay. But I haven't had any other issues, loss of memory or things like that. In a sense of preventing from getting another one is learn how to tackle and learn how to tackle properly. Always go 110% because the moment you don't put all your effort in is when you get hurt. When you're not exerting the power you have and you're giving up opportunities for yourself to be hurt in the process. And so that's for preventing, but if you do have one, don't just shake it off and say you're okay. It's a serious thing, and yes, you may not be able to play the next game or the next couple of games, and you may not be able to practice, but we're talking about your life. And there can be serious consequences from having a concussion, and not all of them are good. So overall, I guess the biggest thing to take out of this is concussions are a real thing, and you need to take them seriously.